state what was in the bank. In fact, in the bank account, there were
As
no
a matter of fact,
specificity.
Honorable
So,
Suntay, the subject matter of the subpoena are not bank records. This is AMLC report. Please make a distinction between the two.
yes, Madam Chair, but what will AMLC report on? Wouldn't it be what is contained in the bank accounts?
Can you just describe based on what has been reported by the bank? Because I understand that with or without order, the banks voluntarily report to you
That is correct, Madam Chair.
if there are covered and suspicious
yes.
transactions. So
Madam-
just limit your answer to what is contained in your report.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Sige, can you go on?
Madam, sir, Mr.
Can you restate your question?
Now, we have called AMLC to, because we would like to inquire what the banks has
These are
reported to
covered
them.
transactions and
The
suspicious
covered
transactions as
suspicious
described earlier.
transactions. So, to determine what is a suspicious transaction, who determines it? AMLA or the bank?
The banks.
The bank. And they submit accounts.
That is
What
voluntary
is contained
submission.
in the accounts? Is that correct?
Reports of the transactions, not necessarily just the account. So sometimes there is no account yet, but they do submit if there is anything anomalous with the transaction. So it doesn't necessarily involve an account.
Okay.
But it may
So
involve
when
account.
is an account considered anomalous?
Wait, account is not a subject matter of the subpoena. The subject matter of the subpoena are covered transaction and suspicious transaction.
Okay. Then when
Honorable
is a
Suntay, please be
transaction
reminded to
considered
limit your
Madam Chair,
questions to the
yes.
subject matter of the
when is a
subpoena.
transaction considered anomalous?
Suspicious.
Please use the term covered or suspicious. Because that
Covered
is the
or
subject
suspicious?
matter of our
Okay,
subpoena.
madam. Covered or suspicious?
Under Section 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, there is a definition of what constitutes suspicious transactions. Number one is if there is no underlying legal or trade obligation. Number two is if there is no economic, the client is not properly identified. Number three is if the amount involved is not commensurate to the business or the financial capacity of the client. And the next would be taking into account all the circumstances. There is a perceived transaction, the perceived transaction of the client is being structured. Number five is if there is an unlawful activity, if the client committed an unlawful activity or is in any way related to money laundering. Number six is if there's a deviation, observed deviation from the acts of the or behavior of the client's profile. And number seven is any other analogous transactions similar to the those enumerated.
Okay. Sige. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, you are allowed only to manifest.
Yes, Madam. Let me state for the record that the committee have required the submission of AMLC records without a court order. And let me reiterate that under the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, suspicious transaction reports and covert transaction reports are confidential and may only be disclosed upon order of a court. The House of Representatives Committee on Justice does not have the authority to direct the AMLC by issuing a legislative subpoena and consequently cannot bypass the probable cause requirement of the court. The report of suspicious transactions are meant to be used by the AMLC for analysis and its own determination of probable cause, where required by the judiciary. That's my manifestation, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
The
Madam
manifestations
Chair.
are noted.
Madam Chair.
Any other member who wishes to
Madam Chair.
manifest or raise
Madam
clarificatory question? The Honorable Jokno and then the Honorable Ko.
Madam Chair.
Just a
Also me.
counter manifestation, Madam Chair.
Okay.
You may proceed.
We have to emphasize this, that the bank secrecy law itself provides, and I quote, "All deposits are hereby considered as of an absolutely confidential nature," just like the AMLA law, "except in cases of impeachment." Iba po yung exception sa court order sa exception in cases of impeachment. And I believe that the reason is very clear, because we are here speaking of accountability of public officers. If we allow the bank secrecy law to become a tool that will hide key evidence from the Committee on Justice, magiging baliwala po yung impeachment process. This will become an exercise in futility. Hindi natin magagampanan ng ating tungkulin kung nakatakip ang ating mga mata. And that's why, to fulfill our duty under the Constitution and to the people, the committee must exercise its power to examine all the evidence, including the records coming from the Anti-Money Laundering Council regarding covered and suspicious transactions linked to Vice President Sara Duterte. Thank
Madam-
you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Ko.
Madam Chair, I'm making this manifestation to clarify to the public the difference between what we're doing and the cited Section 11 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Under the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Section 11, sabi po doon that the Anti-Money Laundering Council, AMLC, may inquire into or examine particular deposits, etc., under order of any competent court. Ina-assume po nito na ang AMLC, hindi pa niya hawak yung impormasyon na kailangan niya. Meron siyang napapansin na something, no? Tapos kailangan niya ng additional information and gusto niyang mag-inquire further. Pwedeng gawin ito ng AMLC, mag-inquire yung AMLC, kung may nakuha siyang court order. Iba po yun sa ginagawa natin ngayon. Ang ginagawa po ngayon, tayo bilang House Committee on Justice, dahil we're acting upon the people's complaint for impeachment against VP Sara Duterte, and kasama dun sa complaint, no, yung mga financial assets ni VP, no, we're asking the AMLC, based on available information and intelligence that it has, no, prior to any of the, prior sa pagsimula ng impeachment proceedings na to, may alam ba kayo tungkol sa possible covered transactions or suspicious transactions na pwede niyong i-report? So, this is to clarify to the public that Section 11 actually does not apply in this case, no. Ang tinataya po ng AMLC now, meron pong mga reports na na-receive sila from banks, no? And hindi po cause yung pag-collate nila ng reports na yon because merong impeachment proceedings na nangyayari. Hawak na po nila yon prior pa. So ngayon, gusto nating marinig from AMLC ano yung contents ng report na yon, so that we can finally move on to the next parts of the proceedings, which is ano bang implications ng kung ano mang covered or suspicious transactions yung kaya pong i-report ng AMLC. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Next is the Honorable D.S. Beron.
Madam Chair.
Yes, I know that the Filipino people are waiting to see and hear the report of the AMLC on covered and suspicious transactions. So with the indulgence of the justice members, we have been repeatedly discussing about the legality of the issuance of the subpoena and the disclosure of the report. Let me reiterate, we did not subpoena the bank records. We did not subpoena the bank officials and employees. What we subpoenaed is AMLC report, and the executive director is right before us to share with us, ready to report on what they've seen as covered and suspicious transactions. So I hope after DS Beron, we can proceed to hear the report of the AMLC.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Only one question directed to ED Benaventura. Attorney, Madam Chair, in your monitoring and analysis of covered and suspicious transactions, may I know if you're able to identify any suspicious transaction involving the accounts linked to VP Sara or her family? That's all, Madam Chair.
Again, for the guidance of the Honorable Biron, with all due respect, the subject matter of the subpoena is not the account. The subject matter of the subpoena is covered transactions and suspicious transactions. That is for the guidance of all the members.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Would you like to answer, ED?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Kindly limit your answers to the subject matter of the subpoena.
Yes, there are suspicious transactions and covered transactions found in our system, database, or record.
Does that satisfy the Honorable
Yes,
Biron?
thank you, Madam Chair.
Now we recognize the Honorable Terry Ridon.
Madam Chair, thank you. Maraming salamat po. Magandang araw po sa Anti-Money Laundering Council. Meron po kayong mga dala pong mga dokumento, hindi po ba? So may
Tama.
cover letter at meron po tayong mga reports, no?
Apo.
Relating to the accounts of transactions of Vice President Sara Duterte and Attorney Mans Carpio. Can we refer to the cover letter first? And we'd like you to read it in full for the benefit of everyone.
Right? The Executive Director Buenaventura is directed to read the letter. That is in relation to the submission of the documents.
Subject, subpoena ad testificandum et duces tecum issued by the House of Representatives, Committee on Justice, in relation to the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. This refers to the issuance of the House of Representatives, Committee on Justice of the subpoena ad testificandum et duces tecum in relation to the verified complaints for impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte, requiring the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLC to bring on or before 22 April 2026, 10 a.m., the original or certified true copies of all reports of covert transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLC involving Sara Duterte, Carpio, and or Manasseh Carpio, covering the period starting from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigations or reports or related reports or documents prepared by AMLC involving the reported covert transactions and suspicious transactions. In compliance with the subpoena, the AMLC formally transmits the original and or certified true copies of the following documents. So Annex A, Covert Transaction Report, CTRs, and Suspicious Transaction Reports, or STRs, for the period 2006 to 2025. Annex B, Financial Intelligence Reports on Vice President Sara Duterte Carpio and Annex C, Investigation Reports on A, Manasseh Carpio, and B, Sara Duterte Carpio and Manasseh Carpio. We also provide the following summary. For Sara Duterte Carpio, number of CTRs, 313, number of STR, 17, total amount involved, 3,772,760,972 pesos and 48 centavos. Total amount of inflow, 1,832,539,360 pesos and 45 centavos. Total amount of outflow, 1,211,365,529 pesos and 75 centavos. For Manasseh Carpio, number of CTRs, 317, number of STRs, 16, total amount involved, 2,998,466,740 and 47 centavos. Total amount of inflow, 2,592,904 2,592,904,434 pesos and 24 centavos. Total amount of outflow, 343,315,781 pesos and 7 centavos. Total for both, 630, number of CTRs, 630, number of STRs, 33. Total amount involved, 6,771,227,712.95 and 95 centavos. Total amount of inflow, 4,425,443,794 and 69 centavos. Total amount of outflow, 1,554,681,310 and 82 centavos. There are undetermined inflow or outflow transactions based on our system, but we see transaction movement, so we categorize it as undetermined. So that is 791,102,607 and 44 centavos. The rest
Just for the record, ED, are the figures accurate? Yes or no?
as of we submitted today, yes.
Are
Based
they
on our record.
accurate?
Based on our records, yes.
You're saying yes.
Based on the records,
That's
yes.
for the record.
Madam Chair, wala po yun sa salin
Honorable Shua, do you want to be recognized?
Sinasabi ko lang po. Eh di wow.
Madam Chair, if I
Madam
may be-
Chair,
Madam Chair, if I may be allowed to proceed.
Wait. The floor is with the Honorable Ridon.
Thank you for reading for the record the cover letter.
You will be called Vice Chair Dumogan after the Honorable
no.
Ridon.
It's not a question, may we be furnished copies of
Yes.
that report submitted for our guidance.
May we direct the COMSEC to please provide copy of the cover letter, at least para mabilis, no? Because the attachments are really voluminous. Kindly provide Justice members copy of the cover letter.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair,
Wait,
Madam Chair,
is
regarding
this a point of order?
regarding the
Because the floor
copies,
is with the
no,
Honorable Tino.
just with regard to the request for copies.
Yes.
Kasi actually kanina pa kahit yung mga SALN bibigyan daw kami pero hindi rin naman nabigyan pa.
I think the photocopier is in the
Oh.
other building.
Yes, baka pwede po yung e-copy na muna kung meron.
Email.
Baka mas mabilis.
Okay.
Opo.
COMSEC,
Para may reference kami.
kindly send soft copy to the corresponding email accounts of the Justice members of the available documents already. Honorable Ridon, you may proceed.
Okay, ngayon naman po pag-usapan po natin yung mga detalye nito po nga mga transactions po na ito. I have a document with me which is titled Confidential Information Sharing, subject, Vice President Sara Duterte and Manasseh R. Carpio. Do you have the same copy, Executive
Yes, Madam
Director
Chair.
Benaventura?
Yeah.
Can we flash the document on the screen, please, Secretariat? So we would want to direct the Executive Director not to read the entirety of it because it is a bit voluminous, but we would want him to read particular portions of it. I refer you to page 2 of the document, Summary of Transactions. Can you read from that point until
Can
number
we flash the document referred to by the Honorable Ridon? COMSEC, please be directed as well to provide a copy of the summary of transactions to the Justice members.
Can we suspend so that we can flash the document for the benefit of everyone, Madam Chair?
COMSEC, please flash the document summary of transactions.
Oh. Ano to? Parang initial.
Madam Chair, can we suspend until we can flash the document to the screen, please?
Hearing is temporarily suspended. Wala ba kayo? Ba't ang tagal? Resume. While we are waiting for the document subject matter of the clarificatory questions of the Honorable Ridon, with the indulgence of the Honorable Ridon, we recognize first the Honorable DS Janet Garin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat rin po, Congressman Terry Ridon, for the quick interjection. While we are waiting for the documents, Madam Chair, may I propound some clarificatory questions to the AMLC representative. Kanina po nasabi niya, covered transaction reports and suspicious transaction reports. Pag sinabi po pang covered, nasabi niyong may basihan. Tama po ba o mali?
Tama po. Ito po yung lahat ng transaction kapag nireport ng bangko, kailangan lagpas 500,000 pesos.
At pag sinabing covered, Madam Chair, ang ibig po ba sabihin nun ay tiningnan nyo pero merong basihan or justifiable na legal ang transaksyon na ito? Tama po ba o hindi? Covered transaction reports.
Sa report lang po ng bangko sa amin, hindi pa po namin ma-determine at that point.
Okay. When we say suspicious transaction reports, ano po ba, Madam Chair, ang pagkakaiba ng covered transaction reports vis-a-vis suspicious transaction reports?
So, unang-una po, yung suspicious transaction reports, wala po siyang halaga. It can be below 500,000, maaari pong 10,000, 20, 30, 50. Maaari din pong sobrang laki na lumagpas din ng 500,000. Pero ang pinagkaiba po niya sa suspicious transaction, ang tinitingnan po natin or ng covered person or ng bangko na nagre-report, meron bang mga kahinahinala na mga transaction or galaw doon sa kanyang galaw nung kliyente niya. So kasama na po dito yung mga nabanggit ko kanina na enumeration na nabanggit po kanina nung nagtanong po. Pero nagbigay rin po ako ng halimbawa na medyo madali masundan. Halimbawa nga po yung kung meron pumasok o lumabas na pera pero walang malinaw na basihan or pinanggalingan or fondasyon kung bakit meron kang ganitong transaksyon.
Yeah. If the Secretariat is not yet ready, Madam Chair, may I proceed to my next clarificatory question? Nakasaad kanina sa cover letter nyo ang sinabi nyong financial intelligence reports. Can the Honorable Representative from AMLAC define what a financial intelligence report means?
Ang Financial Intelligence Report po ay isang report na ginagawa ng aming mga analyst na kinukuha nila ang mga transactions na na-report sa amin, tinitignan, ina-analyze, meron bang patterns, meron bang galaw na kakaiba, o normal lang ba ito? So, meron po silang mga points of analysis. So, they will prepare this financial investigation report based solely on the reports provided and reported to us by the covered persons like banks.
And these are included in the documents that you have submitted, sir?
Tama
Madam Chair.
po. Meron po kaming naisubmit po.
So, Madam Chair, maybe the Secretariat is already ready?
May we know if the Secretariat is ready to flash the summary of transactions?